that's the thing that will continue to lead you. Doing some cooking and some reading, studying later. The best way to mitigate imposter syndrome. I was faced with this dilemma. For the rest of today, I just have 2 nail appointments. I'm getting a manicure done at one place, and then I'm getting a pedicure at another place just because I really like both of these places, but for different things. The first one that I'm going to just does such a good job with my nails. The second place that I'm going to just has like a way more chill vibe, and that's where I'm gonna get my pedicure done. Aside from that, I will probably be doing some cooking and some reading, studying later. Otherwise, today is just meant to be like a reset and relaxed day since it's been a long week. I really love these Lulu jackets because the collar actually stands up by itself. A lot of other ones I've had, it always is like flopping around. So yeah, I really love these jackets. It's 40 degrees outside and I'm wearing sandals right now. I was faced with this dilemma because either I wear shoes or boots to my pedicure appointment, or I just wear the sandals. Just hoping it's quick in, quick out. And that was so good. I had like a 15-minute massage, and that was just much needed. I'm probably gonna head to Costco now because I want to get some salmon. I've been eating that weekly and I'm just addicted to it right now. So I'm gonna wrap up this video talking about some of the books that I just got for work. Well, not necessarily for work, but for my own professional development. Before I dive into that, I wanted to share a little bit about my mindset and how I've stayed motivated to learn pretty aggressively over the past decade of my life, between undergrad and then studying clinical psychology and then also cybersecurity. I think the one thing that has always worked in my favor has been my curiosity. And I always tell younger kids or students when I do talks and stuff that everyone tells you to pursue your passion, but I say you should pursue your curiosity because that's the thing that will continue to lead you down the road. Because if you think about it, when you're curious about something, you want to know more. And for me, everything I've studied is stuff that I want to learn more about. And that's what keeps pulling me in day after day. I find it so interesting that I want to keep going. With that being said, I think to stay motivated, you have to make it easy for yourself. I know that I tend to get really overwhelmed when I have a project or something I need to take on that's just too big. So like my master's degree, that was a very intense experience because I jam-packed like 9 classes into one semester. And at first it was very overwhelming. Like, how am I gonna fucking do that? But I broke it down, and I broke it down step by step. And I didn't look too much at the overall picture. I had to in terms of figuring out roadmap and how much time I could allocate to each subject. But breaking it down made it so easy to just go in day after day. For example, if I had to write a paper or study for an exam that I needed to take, like I had to take Pen Test Plus and CISA Plus, I just figure out what I can do for the day to keep moving the needle forward, and then I just do that. And it's quite simple. With my brain, I tend to be very over analytical, and I can complicate things very, very easy. But a lot of times it's very simple. Just do the thing, right? When it comes to studying or learning new things or doing work, we tend to feel resistance, but really all you need to do is just do the work. And that's what I kept telling myself, especially through my master's program, was like, stop overthinking it, stop dwelling, do the work, because you're wasting time thinking about having to do the work instead of just doing the work. So that is very much the mentality I have. And I think what has helped me be successful is I have a very incredibly intense bias for action. Just do something instead of nothing. And sometimes you'll do things that don't progress you forward or might be a waste of time in the end, but you learn. And that's how I see especially all the changes I've made in my career trajectory. I don't see them as a waste of time because I still gained a lot of value from the things that they taught me. Like, anthropology has made me far better at log analysis because anthropology taught me to think deeper and to read between the lines. For example, I remember in an archaeology class, the professor explained burials to us and how we were able to indicate the first signs of higher thinking and like spirituality and religion. And that's because when archaeologists would find skeletons, usually you don't find anything but the bones. But there came a point where archaeologists dug up skeletons where they found jewelry around the skeletons, and that essentially indicated that there was some sort of higher thinking where they believed in jewelry and like royalty. Aside from that, I would say staying really healthy helps me stay motivated, helps me feel energized to keep going and learning new things. I do feel like prioritizing my health and well-being actually makes me a better learner because I have the energy to do it. If this is a topic though that interests you guys, I can dive even deeper, but that's just a very high level of like, how do I stay motivated? Because I have done so much learning. All right, so I'm gonna jump into these books now. The first one is Adversarial AI Attacks, Mitigations, and Defense Strategies, along with Artificial Intelligence for Cybersecurity. And so the reason I got these is because as you know, AI is just becoming super prominent and it's not going away anytime soon, and you gotta change with the times. So I am trying to get more up to speed with how to integrate AI into the work that I do for cybersecurity, which again, one day in one video I'll talk about what I'm doing at work. But another book I got is Hacking Kubernetes. I'm just trying to learn more and get up to speed. This is another book, the DevSecOps Playbook, and then also Securing DevOps, because I am not a DevSecOps engineer, but I work pretty adjacent to it, and it comes up a lot. And this is not an area that I'm super strong in, and that's okay. I'm just trying to fill that gap. And lastly, Practical Threat Detection Engineering. So this is kind of some of what I do at work, and I just want to get better at it. A lot of learning I do is very reactional to the work that I'm doing at work. And that is kind of just how I've had to operate over the past few years, especially because when I transitioned to cybersecurity, I didn't have any degree or any certs at that point. I actually started getting certs after I got my first security job. So I do a lot of reactionary learning, where if I feel like there's a gap in my knowledge that's hindering me at work or that I feel insecure about, so I guess another way of putting that is having imposter syndrome. My camera just did a weird thing. Anyways, I was talking about imposter syndrome. So how I deal with it is by filling the gaps in my knowledge. It's quite simple. I think it has never gone away, the feeling of just not being good enough or smart enough. But through time, I think I've learned that the best way to mitigate imposter syndrome is to go and learn the things that you need to learn that you feel like you don't know. But also with that, understanding that you're not going to know everything and that's okay, but can you go and learn that thing? That's where a lot of my strength comes from, because it's not easy to be in this field. You're constantly having to learn. I would say learning how to learn efficiently is an incredible skill to have that will get you far in this industry, or honestly in any industry. I wish I could go back to my younger self and encourage myself to learn how to learn faster. I've actually taken a course on learning how to learn. It was super helpful because it taught me about how the brain processes and stores information. And essentially all it is creating new neural pathways, and you do that through repetition. So that's actually one way that I tend to study for certification exams, and just in general, I find that repetition really does burn things into my brain better, faster, longer. Highly recommend that approach. And I can also make a video on how I study for certifications, because I have a lot. I got like 3 from GIAC, and then I also did CISA Plus, Pen Test Plus, and I passed those within a month's time, both. I took them back to back, which there was some overlap there, so it was actually reasonably easy to do back to back. And then some other ones, just like some entry-level ones that I don't put much weight into. And in general, I don't really put much weight into the certs because I feel like it's just a memorization exercise. Okay, my camera did that thing again, so I think it's done with me for the day, so I'm gonna just stop the video here. This was a relatively short video, but I just wanted to build the muscle of recording stuff. Anyways, I hope this was somewhat helpful or insightful for you. If you have any feedback or any suggestions on what you'd like to hear more about, please drop that in the comments below. I'm kind of just trying to figure out what is the most useful content to make. I am not doing this for money. I just really wanted to give back to the community because I utilize so many resources on the internet just to get to where I am today, and I'm so grateful for that. So I just want to make the videos that I would have benefited seeing when I was on my journey. But thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.